Hi there, my name is Maddie. I recently graduated from college, and for the summer, I'm traveling around the US to different major cities to explore and spend time with friends and myself. Subscribe to join the adventure and enjoy! New York City. It is the place to be, the place to eat, explore, and live. So especially being on the East Coast, I most definitely could not pass up the chance to be in the city. One of my best friends graciously gave me a place to crash for the duration of my stay, so here I continued my couch surfing travels. And after spending a total of about a month here, I wanted to share 8 impressions that I've had and some surprises that I've made about the city. Impression number 1. Tourists. Lots and lots of tourists. I mean, I was one of them. And it didn't matter if it was in Chinatown, Central Park, the Met Museum, or even some random side street. I just know they're everywhere. And maybe while a local New Yorker might be able to tell, I obviously was, more half local, half tourist, and I couldn't tell at all. Impression number 2. Size. New York City is huge. I thought it would just be like any other city where there are lots of things to do, places to go and eat, but New York City is next level. For those of you who haven't been or aren't particularly familiar with the city, New York City is actually a combination of 5 different boroughs, which are kind of like different neighborhoods. This consists of Manhattan, the most common area that people refer and talk to when they say New York City, followed by Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, and the Bronx. Impression number 3. Accessibility. The only other city I've been to where I felt like the public transit system is very adequate is Taipei, Taiwan. In the US, New York City probably has some of the best public transit, maybe even in the world. While the subway is known for being fairly dirty and smelly, there's still the bus system, the metro, and, all these things, it gets the job done in getting you from place A to place B. Impression number 4. Diversity of people. Tourists from all over the world will come and visit New York City, and similarly, there feels like an incredible amount of diversity in New York itself. You can feel it in the languages you hear walking down the street, but also people are just from all over the spectrum in terms of their interests and professions. Impression number 5. Diversity of food. I mean, I feel like there's just everything you could ever want. I felt this particularly when I was looking for a place to eat and I came across this Eastern European Czech-inspired restaurant. I feel like in New York, even the kind of fusion food that exists just shows how unique the food scene here can become, or maybe just how creative New Yorker restaurateurs are. Impression number 6. Unexpected weather. I came to New York City during the summer, and being from the West Coast, I had no idea how hot it could get in New York City. In my mind, it's supposed to be snowy and cold, and obviously it won't be like that in the summer, but wow, the heat and humidity and occasional and unsuspecting thunderstorms really was something I was surprised by. Impression number 7. Crowded. So most people say that New York City is really fast-paced, and I don't completely disagree, but when I compare it to other major metropolitans that I've been to, I'm not sure I feel like it's that much more fast-paced than those cities. People who want to walk slow will, and those who want to walk fast also will. There are just so many people here, so you'll probably find someone who's doing what you want to do, even if it's in the minority. What I would want to say that instead of fast paced, I think New York City is crowded. Lots and lots of people everywhere, and generally, even at all hours of the day, there's people there. Impression number 8. Magical? I have to admit, at first, I wasn't super impressed with New York City. I knew that it was glamorized in some ways on the internet. I knew that people tend to romanticize their life in New York, which I think is amazing. But I also wanted to just figure out what New York City feels like to me. What I've learned is that I like the city. It took me some time to get comfortable with the complicated subway system and walking everywhere and people who don't work in tech, but as someone who likes cities, diversity of people and food, how I can get around without a car, there's just so much to do. While I don't really mind small spaces, and I do very mind much the high price tag it takes to live here, it doesn't really feel like any other city can totally compare to New York City.